All right, you know what? I might actually give people just a couple more minutes because we had about 15 people signed up. There's only about half of them here, so I'm just going to give it a minute. Let people show up. I got some Q&A here. Bruce can hear me. That's good. Some of you guys aren't connected to computer audio. You might have to dial in the number if you're not connected on the computer audio. There should be a number you can dial in for the sound. And actually, let me write that because you might not know that because you're listening to me. All right, so most people have sound now. I'm going to get going, so I'm not wasting anybody's time here, and we'll get going. Again, if you have any questions as I go, just type them into the Q&A box, and I'll unmute you if I need to, and we're going to get going here. So welcome to our Mastercam 2021 rollout. And I'm Dave Matuszek. I'll be your presenter today. And there's a very good picture of me back when I was in trade school, running that very same lathe probably, but it was painted white. Eric and I went to high school together, so he can tell you all about those South Bend lathes also when it's his turn to present. So a little bit about me. I've been a Mastercam user since 1995, so that's version 5.5. So that's going back a ways. I came to work for MACDAC in November 05, so that's going on 15 years of being a MACDACer. So I've worn many hats in 15 years. I've been the support manager, that's where I started. I was later the trainer. I've been a salesman, then I was in marketing, then I was a trainer again, and now I'm in sales again, and now they gave me a cool sounding title. That is Senior Sales and Applications Engineer. So I'm a guy who does a lot of on-sites, does a lot of application-specific things outside of tech support to kind of free up the support guys to do things that matter, like support. And I kind of just answer the other questions coming in. And it really just means that I'm the utility player. I do a little bit of everything. I'll fill in for Bruce once in a while. I'll fill in for Eric and Nick once in a while, and fill in for just about anybody who needs me. The only thing I don't do is the books. And I really don't want to do them. So a little bit about me outside of MACDAC. About almost 4 years ago now, I moved to Lineborough, New Hampshire, and I own a small farm up here. I build furniture and do some woodworking instruction in my spare time. I'm a ham radio operator. In case anybody's into that, shoot me an email later. We'll hook up. And I also enjoy hunting and fishing, which is why I love living in New Hampshire. And I've also done a lot of photography and home brewing, but now I have a 3-year-old, so that's taken away any amount of time I have to do anything else, but she does like to go out and help me on the farm somewhat as best she can at 3. She likes to plant things and water things and really wants to ride my tractor, but that's not going to happen right now. And a little bit about MACDAC Engineering for you guys here who don't know. We're a veteran-owned small business. We've been in business since 1991. We're the largest New England-based CAM-CAM reseller. And we have 2 full-time support staff members, as well as a full-time Mastercam trainer and a full-time application specialist. That's me. And then we have all the other auxiliary people that go along with that. Also, we have, like, for example, Al doing demos and sales, Brian helping out, Sue Zonner, Sue Pulver, Caitlin, a lot of different people there. And we also have a full line of Dassault products, such as CATIA, for anyone who might be looking for something along those lines. And we also have our own line of DNC, OEE, IIoT tools called Accelerant. So that is basically Internet of Things, Industry 4.0, machine tool monitoring, DNC, wireless communications, that sort of thing here. And a little bit about CNC Software, the people who make Mastercam. It was founded by the Summers brothers, that is their name, Mark, Brian, and originally Jack, in 1983. It's the last independently owned major CAM developer. A lot of the other CAD/CAM companies have been bought up by even bigger companies. You might have heard of Autodesk buying up a few different packages, and you had Hexagon buy a few different packages. So the last independent maker of CAD/CAM software that's a major one anyways. There's about 150 employees over there. They're based in Tolland, Connecticut. And they also have offices in Washington State, Switzerland, and China. So let's jump in. First thing I want to let you guys know, Mastercam development is driven by feedback from you. If you have any feedback about Mastercam, we'd love to hear it. Shoot us an email, let us know. Sometimes you might want to do something that you can already do. We'll find that workaround for you. Or if it's something like that, we're more than happy to forward things over to Mastercam, to the QC department, and see if they can add that into a release here. So our goals today are demonstrate the power of Mastercam, help you be more productive, and gather some valuable feedback from you. So afterwards, I'll put my email up on the screen. If you guys have any feedback or anything you want to see, just shoot me an email. So what's the constant in Mastercam? What's been the same about Mastercam forever? And it's purposely developed to provide leading edge and relevant solutions to our Mastercam user community. Oh, that was a good gust of wind. And in case you heard my fan kicking on behind me. And let's hear some new features and highlights in 2021, and that's what's new, and that's what we're going to go over in the next couple webinars. So I'm going to focus on general enhancements today, and I'm also going to focus on some of the CAD enhancements today. And then this afternoon we have one, I believe, dealing with mill, and then next week is going to be lathe and multi-axis. So stay tuned for the mill 2D and 3D event today at 2 o'clock that Nick will be hosting. So a couple of general enhancements. A new one is called auto hide prompts, and another new one are some improvements to the bounding box. So, being the smart guy that I am, I put some videos in. So you may have run into this. We have a very large prompt on your screen. Come on, play for me. This goes into the, it worked this morning. Okay. Technical difficulties are fun, right, everybody? Give me a second here. I'm going to just restart my PowerPoint. Or heck, it's not the end of the world if you watch it in that window, right? So you've always been able to move these prompts around, and you've always been able to change the size of them. Small font, medium font, and large font. But now if you right-click, there's an auto-hide feature. And if you hover over the little arrow that it gives you, you'll be able to bring that prompt back up. But that new auto-hide feature can help save some valuable real estate on your screen. So now it'll play for me. Okay. The other new feature here is under the bounding box. And the irony is, I'm not lying to you, it worked this morning because Bruce and Eric watch these videos work. Okay. So the new bounding box, there's, your traditional bounding box you've always had, been able to make a cylinder or a rectangle, but there's a new one called wrap that will wrap a boundary around your part. And you have two options in there, a silhouette boundary and a minimum boundary, which wraps a mesh around the part as tight as it can. So that's a new bounding box enhancement that you have in Mastercam 2021. All right. A next quick little general enhancement is the raster to vector feature that allows you to take a piece of line art, preferably line art, and trace it automatically in Mastercam. That used to be a C-hook, and now it's actually in your wireframe menu. So you can see here in Mastercam 2020, I had to go to Run User Applications or Alt-C, find the Mastercam C-hook, and run it. In Mastercam 2021, which I'm in right here, I can now go to the wireframe command and run Mastercam right from inside of there. So there's no need to go hunting through your menu structure. It's built right in there. You don't have to go looking for C-hooks anymore to get that Mastercam feature. And my little pro tip for Mastercam, it really only works on black, well, it works best, I should say, on things that are like black and white and have a strong outline to them. All right, so let's go to our next slide. Another new enhancement is the note feature. They redesigned the drafting notes feature to be a little more user-friendly, and it can do a couple new things with the presets, and you still have legacy notes to bring in and edit notes from an older version of Mastercam, but this is the new interface. I'm just going to kind of show you guys what that does, and let's try going back to, let's try one more time to run my video. I'm going to try one thing, everybody. Will this work? All right, we're going back to this. Make it a little bit bigger. So I still have my note feature here where I can create notes just as I did before. Change my height on the fly. I can change fonts. I'm going to get a true type font. And I can fill that in. Italicize it, so I just have a little bit more control over my note feature than I did before. A couple more commands under there. I can create geometry. I can add a leader in, or add a, yeah, that's called a leader, from that advanced command. So there's no longer create note, create label, and things. All done from the note command. And under that advanced tab, you can add the leader in right there. So that's what's new under note. Another really cool one they've added in actually is the ability to create a 3D PDF. So what this allows me to do is save a file as a PDF that's a 3D representation that you can send to somebody else. They can open up in Adobe and get a 3D view of the part we're seeing right here. So I'm going to go File, Save As. I'm going to put it on 3D PDF. Right there. You can see where it is. Actually, I want to show you the options. There's really only one option under there. And I'll save it. I'm going to overwrite the old one. Open it up. So it opens up in Adobe. And then you have an Adobe file that's a 3D PDF that you can send to someone, and they can take a look at their model, be able to zoom in on it, pan with it, and kind of look it over. It's not a model you can open up in Mastercam or another CAD system, but it's a quick way to give a 3D model to somebody who might not have a CAD system. Because any of the newer versions of Adobe will open that up for you. So that's the new Save As 3D PDF. Another cool thing they've added in under chaining is the ability to see all your chains also here, the ability to, on your solid chain, to see the loop on the back side of a part. Even with the part shaded in, you can still see the loop on the back side of the part. And also a cool one they've added in is a dynamic start point. So if you were doing a solid chain before, you could only start the chain at the beginning or end of a piece of geometry. You didn't have that dynamic button you had in wireframe where you could move this chain start to different places. So I've got a little video here to show you some of these enhancements here. So I'm going to grab this part here, and I'm going to grab a whole bunch of chains. So before, you could only see the arrow on the last chain that you did, but now I have that new display all arrows button that'll show me all the arrows at once on that chain. Next one I got here. So there's the old way where you can only move it around. But now with that new dynamic button, I can actually take and drag that start point to anywhere I want along that chain, rather than just a start and end point of a piece of geometry. So that's actually a really great enhancement in the solid chaining. Two new things about the stock model. In the older versions of Mastercam, when you created a stock model, you had to give it a name. You had to name it something. And if you didn't, it'd let you do everything, and then it would say, you got to give this a name. So you have to go back in and name it. It gives a default name. Default name is 1. So just, you don't have to remember that if you forget to do it, it's not the end of the world. And another really cool enhancement is the other thing I mentioned too is 5-axis only has been renamed mill flutes only. They renamed a button. On Zip to Go, a cool little enhancement is the ability to send us a Mastercam content file. And I will get to that in a minute here, but first, so here you can see I didn't give it a name in 2020, and it keeps alarming on me. I have to give it a name. Mastercam 2021, it has that default name up there that you probably can't see, but it defaulted the name to 1. So I can just create a stock model without having to give it a name. It's just one of those little things that might have just been a little annoying to have to deal with that they've taken care of for you. The other one here is under the Zip to Go utility. Create Zip to Go. I have this new Mastercam content file. Now, what is this Mastercam content file opposed to a regular zip file? Basically, it allows us to drag and drop that content file into Mastercam. For example, if we send you a post, you don't have to go hunting through all the folders anymore. You can just have a content file, drag it, drop it in, and it'll install your post for you. Or for us and our purposes for support, when we have to take a look at your post or something, we can just drag and drop it right in. As you can see, I did that right there. So I had loaded that post right into Mastercam using a content file. So this kind of speeds things up a little bit. It's just a drag and drop thing for doing sending files to different people, rather than having that zip file, that Zip to Go file that we had to use different utilities to open. Another cool one under design here is under whole axis. That's model prep whole axis. I can have multiple solid bodies. And I can also mirror about both the X and Y axis at the same time. So here's my mirror. I'm going to mirror this part. In selection. So right now I'm mirroring about X, but here I am doing X and Y at the same time. So I mirror that body about both axes at the same time. So that's a new enhancement. All right, and the other one is our new, under whole axis, I'm going to turn on allow multiple body, or not turn on first. So if I click that, I have to go click all whole holes the same size on each body individually, even though they're all the same size. And I have control clicking. By turning on allow multiple solids, or allow multiple bodies, and I go click that size hole, it finds everyone in that file that's on the screen at the same time. So it's a lot less clicking if I have to create hole axes on multiple holes with that multiple bodies there. Another new feature here under the more higher end CAD things is being able to reflow the U and V of your surfaces. So if you have a surface model, you have the lines that go across it. That's the U lines and the V lines. And I have two features here that allow me to edit the density of that surface. Right in there, that's edit UV. I can make it more or less, as you can see there. And also I have this reflow button where I can take a surface and turn it and twist it and reflow it different ways and do different modifications to it under the reflow button. So I'll reflow it by a chain here. So I can make different modifications to that that file there that way. And some solid enhancements under solids. I can, when I detect holes, I can add hole history. I can save custom hole sizes and do custom hole operations. And I can also do no solid history, no history modeling on holes. So let me kind of show you what I mean by that. Ooh, that's not what I want to do. I can't see my mouse all of a sudden. Technical difficulties. Please stand by, everybody. There we go. So there's a dumb solid, and I'll add my history here. And I'll add in hole operations, and it's going to create those as Mastercam solid hole operations. As you can see that it did that right there for me. And those are operations that I can edit. You can see I just edited the model there, and I'll regenerate it, and those holes will get smaller. Now, another option I have here under the, I keep calling it the hole wizard. They just call it hole in Mastercam. Is I have an advanced option to do, let's check the hole size, go up to advanced, to not add any history to that. Here's the warning I'm giving you right here. If you add a no history hole to your model, it takes all the history out of your model. Just be aware of that, because I just deleted all the history out of that model by trying to make a hole that had no history built in. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys or not. And just a quick wrap up of what we did. I went a little over 20 minutes. I made it to 25 minutes, which was our goal, was to keep these as short as possible so that we can keep our attention spans as sharp as possible. So they told me to try to keep everything under a half hour. So I think I did a good job here. So a couple things: new minimum bounding box sizes. You have your auto hole. You have your that new wrapping feature. Give you no new note function. The new solid hole capabilities. The new add history capabilities. The no history modeling. So you can do modeling without adding history to your solid, but just keep in mind that if you have a history on your solid, that will remove your history. And kind of the new Reflow and Edit UV here. And let me just throw you my contact info. So most of you guys know me. I see everybody on the list here. I think everyone's somebody I've talked to in the past. So I'm Dave Matuszek again, davem@macdac.com. Anyone have any questions? You can throw a Q&A in there and I'll unmute you to ask your question. All right, so guys, keep in mind we got another rollout event today at 2 o'clock on Mill 2D and 3D, and probably in 2 weeks we'll be doing this event again. Give people a second chance to attend. So tell your friends if you liked it, and if you have any feedback for me, by all means, shoot an email over to me at davem@macdac.com, and I'll be happy to answer them. And if you want a copy of the presentation, let me know, and I can take care of that for you also. All right, any questions? I'll give you a minute for questions. Just go in the Q&A box and type something in if you want to. All right, everybody. I'm going to end the webinar then if no one has any questions. And again, shoot me an email if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to help you out. And give me a call if you want to also. I'm working remotely. So if you call the office, they'll get you my cell phone number and you can get a hold of me that way if you don't have my cell phone already. All right, everybody. Thanks. Have a great day.